What's up guys, it's Bucky and welcome to another vlog. This vlog is going to be kind of different because in this video I want to take the whole video to talk about my sensory deprivation tank. Now I want to do this for a couple reasons. First of all, because whenever I was doing the house tour vlog showing you guys around my house, I showed you guys this thing in my living room and a lot of people left comments. They're like, why do you have a big refrigerator in your living room? And people thought it was like a bathtub or something. So I want to clear things up for everyone who's curious about why I have it and why I have a huge tank sitting in my living room. And also, for those of you who know a little bit more about sensory deprivation but never tried it before, a lot of the information on the internet isn't that great of information. Most of the videos on YouTube are just by people who floated once or twice, and they're pretty much making a video about it, but it doesn't really cover a whole lot of information, and it can kind of guide people in the wrong direction. So since I own one and I floated probably 300 times, that I think that it would be a good idea to give you guys a little bit better information on the subject so you guys kind of get a better idea of what a sensory deprivation tank is. So let's go ahead and answer that question first. What the heck is a sensory deprivation tank? Well, a sensory deprivation tank is also called an isolation tank or flotation tank. People call it many different names, but basically it's a massive fiberglass chamber. I'll go ahead and show you guys around it later on, but it's basically this huge fiberglass chamber, and it actually took 4 people just to carry it in my house. Super heavy. And the walls are several inches thick and they're made up of several layers of insulation. Now the reason that the walls are insulated is because the entire tank, whenever you get in, it needs to be completely soundproof. Now the tank is also 100% light proof. So once you get in and close the door, it's complete darkness. Now inside the tank is about 10 to 12 inches of water depending on how much you put in, and around 800 to 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. There's probably 12 inches of water and 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in mine right now. And the solution of salt water is heated to a perfect 93.5 degrees, which is the exact same temperature as your skin. Now, since there is so much salt in the water, the solution is so dense that whenever you're laying inside the solution, inside the tank, you pretty much feel like a cork in the water. The water actually comes up right, it covers your ears, so it actually helps protect against sound as well, but it doesn't go in your mouth or nose or eyes. So it's the perfect density where you can just lay in there and float comfortably. It feels amazing and absolutely perfect. Now usually whenever you go to a spa or a center to float, they'll let you stay in for an hour max. So no longer than that, and for reasons that I'm going to talk about later, but it's usually $75, $60 an hour, somewhere around that, at least around here, to float for an hour. Since I have my own, not really, I don't have time limits, I usually get in there for 2 to 3 hours each morning, and that's probably kind of a lot, but I don't know, I think I'm, used to it more than normal people, I guess. So I get in there for about 2 to 3 hours every morning, once a day. And actually when I first began, there was this one time I lost track of time and I thought I was in there for like 3 hours maybe, and I got out and I found out that 6 hours had passed. So when I got out, I was a little disoriented and dizzy and kind of confused, and I was actually really sick to my stomach. I thought I was gonna throw up. I was actually hanging over the toilet for a lot. So if you have a timer, it's pretty useful. Don't stay in there for more than 4 hours, I want to say. Not a good idea. Now some people actually sleep in it, but whenever I was in there for that 6-hour time period, I was conscious the whole time thinking about crazy stuff. So I think that, my curiosity kind of overwhelmed my common sense. So anyways, don't stay in there for 4 hours or more, I would say, unless you're really used to it and feel comfortable with it. So it's kind of like any other drug. It can be incredibly beneficial and a useful tool if you use it properly, but it can also be pretty harmful if you abuse it and stay in there longer than you should, or you stay in there when you don't feel completely comfortable. Another question I get asked a lot is, how much does the tank cost? Well, this one right here, they have different models. This is pretty much a midline model, I would say. This one costs $9,400. And I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it was the best investment of my entire life. So the tank is $9,400, and then I bought this one from California, and I live in New York. So it was $1,500 to ship it to my house. And the only other major expense you need is the salt. You need to buy the salt in a big pallet. You buy it at like a ton at a time. So the Epsom salt that you need to go in this costs about another $1,500. So once you get all your supplies, your tank, your salt, all your stuff you need for the pump and everything, it's about $13,000 for the complete package. But like I said, I know it sounds like a lot of money. You know, some nice cars cost $13,000, but the best investment of my entire life, hands down.